beasts, aren't they? Chuffed to bits. The smallest little thornback ray. I'll just concentrate on not losing the rod over the side. And its eyes. It's got amazing eyes. Doggy in the boat. Covered in mullet. There's a bit of weight to that, you know. And that's what we want, don't we? We don't want the same all the time. We want something different, a good old show. Hello and welcome to the channel. I wasn't going to start filming until it got to daylight. I'm out on my boat. I'm in about 90 feet of water and I've had doggy and straps. I've lost count now. I've had about a dozen doggies and 3 or 4 straps. And I wasn't really expecting one of these. But you know, I loves a ray. And he's folding his wings up. Come on, buddy. Give us a show. A little male spotted ray. You can tell he's a spotted because his spots don't go all the way to the wing edge. Come on, mate. You can tell he's a male because he's got his tackling too. He's got his claspers. Yeah. I love them. They're amazing, aren't they? That whole nose section is clear. And the eyes on these, I bet the light won't get it. The eyes are absolutely amazing. Little spotted ray. Absolutely amazing. Better than doggies, better than straps. Yeah. We'll get this hook out and get him back. Spotted ray. He's folding his wings out now. Maybe you get a better show. But yeah, filming in the dark. It's freezing cold. I must be crackers. Let's see if we can get this hook out nicely. Lay him on his back. Here we go. Come on, mate. Let's get this hook out. Yeah, we got that out nice. Yeah. Spotted ray. I love them. They're amazing creatures. Spotted ray. Let's get him in. And away he goes. Spotted ray, I love them. It's December, it's freezing cold. I launched the boat about midnight to catch the tide, because it's not an all tidal slip where I am. I have to catch the wind. I can launch it a day before, but then that wasn't convenient. So I launched at midnight. I had to do a couple of little bits and pieces around the boat, sort my anchor line out, do a couple of little jobs, sort my gear out. And I actually steamed for about an hour, 21 nautical miles, and yeah, got to where we are now. Eastern Solent, east of the Isle of Wight. I've got 1 rod in the water. I did have 2, but it's been countless doggies and straps. Nothing of any size until that small-eyed ray. I was fishing 2 rods, but I dropped back down to 1 because it's been countless doggies and straps. So what's the plan for today? Well, it's cold, there's a break in the weather, and what I'm actually after, what I'm actually out here for, is to see if I can winkle out a cod or a codlin. Because it's December, it's catch and release only on bass. So we don't really want to be bringing in any bass onto the boat if we can help it. Unhooked at the side of the boat. So you're going to do hook one. I doubt I'll be showing it. Yeah. And as always, I love the ray. You know I love the ray. Oh, I am cold. It's freezing. It's about another hour and a half till sunrise. As soon as the sun comes up, it will take the edge off it. But it's the coldest point of the evening now. I'm using whole squid at the moment. I'm not doing anything fancy. Single hook, single rod. It's just out there. I'm only fishing, biding my time till daylight really. And I was getting a little bit despondent with the amount of doggies and straps. But, you know, you've got to be in it to win it. Got to have a bait in the water. As soon as it's daybreak, as soon as the sun rises, I'll get the second rod out and I'll fish harder then. I'll be prepping baits, freshening them up more often. And just fishing generally better. But yeah, it is cold, absolutely freezing. Got the start of sunrise over the back to east, and the tide's now swung me round. So it might pull the anchor, or it might pull the anchor and reset. So I'm keeping an eye on it. I mark my waypoints, I mark my anchor position, so I can keep track to see if I've actually drifted off my anchorage. Because I've anchored over what is more or less a hole all around. It's about 60, 65, 70 feet, and this is a hole in the middle of all this. It's 82 to 90 feet depending on where you are. I've got the drag really set lightly on my one rod with the clicker on because it's hard to see the rod tip. Didn't bring any rod tip lights, I didn't bring my head torch. Mistake that was. So my first indication of a bite is a click. But no, so fishing in the dark, but my eyes have tuned into the light, and like I say, we've got the start of a sunrise, so I'm hoping when there's a little bit more light and the camera can pick it up, you can just see it over the back there. We might be in for a show because it's clear. It's a nice crisp clear morning. It's going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to it. Getting rocked about a bit. It's not rough, it's not windy, there's not much swell. Let's have a feel of that, see what's going on there. Getting distracted by my clicker. Yeah, just got to make sure that your bait's on the bottom. There's no point having it out there if it's lifted up off the bottom, because it just won't be fishing. Looking forward to the sunrise, looking forward to the sunshine. See if it'll warm me up a little bit. I have got proper cold. I've got everything. I've got all the gear on. I've got warm clothes. I've got a thermal suit. I've got my nuclear thick socks. I've got my woolly hat. It's still cold. I don't know. It's probably, and there'll be some people around the world looking at this again. That's not cold. It's about 2 or 3 degrees. I think forecast was 2/3 degrees. Oh, that might be a bite. That looks a bit eely, that. That's a bit jaggy. That might be an eel. Oh, it's got a little bit of weight to it. Bit of a bend in the rod there, look. Yeah, that's hanging on a bit. It'll probably be a doggy, won't it? I've been plagued. That doesn't feel like a doggy. That feels like a still only probably a strap, I'm guessing. That's what I'm going to call. I don't know. Not many head shakes. But yeah. At least we're into fish. Just as the sun's getting ready to come up. Looking forward to it. Oh. It's moving around, whatever it is. What is it? Is it a doggy? It's just... yeah, it's a doggy. I don't know. That didn't feel like a doggy coming in. It's a better stamp of doggy. I'm going to take part of this off at the side rather than getting... I'm sure we're going to see some more. I've lost count of how many doggies that is now. I've been plagued by them. I'm going to put that bit of squid back out. There's nothing wrong with that. Just had the head off it, as the actress said to the bishop. Oh. I'm sort of long down tied in, if that makes sense. So I'm not just dropping it at the back of the boat. I'm casting it to the back of the boat and then I'm bumping it back. So the tide is now running that way, to the east. It's spun me round on the spot, and I don't know if you can see, but I'm just paying out some line, just letting it, and then just bumping it back. And when it settles, setting a really light clutch or drag, whichever you prefer. Drag, I suppose. Just like that. Nice and light. My first indication to get my attention is a click. Back again, it's only me. I've had to move inshore, so I was a bit further out. Fished through from about 3 o'clock in the morning till about 7. Started to see the sunrise coming up, which was beautiful. As you can still see, it's in progress. I couldn't hold bottom, and it is a big tide today, and it was ripping through, and I didn't want to put a 2-pound weight on. I don't like fishing with 2-pound weights. So where have I moved to? Central Solent. Instead of Eastern Solent, Central Solent. I'm on the drop off and I'm opposite the 3 shingle banks at Browndown. So Browndown boys on my port, the shingle banks are on my starboard. There's one other boat out there, he's directly astern, further back. Could say, well, there's all sorts of theories in it. He's a long way back. He's not going to interrupt what I'm doing. If there's any fish around here, they're here. They're not going off to him. Yeah, so I'm all set up. I'm going to have some breakfast. I'm going to have coffee. I'm going to have continental breakfast. I'm going to have coffee and a couple of croissants. No bacon, no eggs. No chips. Just need to make sure that my bait's on the bottom. I want to make sure it's nailed hard on the bottom. Fishing in the darkness, I was just getting absolute. I didn't put any on camera. You might have seen me T-bar one off. I can't remember if the camera was rolling at the time. I had about a dozen. I had about a dozen doggies and 5-6 straps, I think. Literally touch the bottom, jangle, jangle, jangle. Reel it in, bait up, out, jangle, jangle, jangle. You're like, okay, gonna fight my way through it. And then I did get a different bite, and it was more of a rattle. And at first I thought, oh, that's a strap, but it wasn't. And when it was coming in, it felt different. It was actually swimming. You know, the line wasn't just coming back to. It was actually moving off in a direction. It was only tiny, but he was a little angry spotted ray, little male spotted ray, all full of testosterone, folding his wings up and everything. And you know I love the ray. I love the ray. They're amazing creatures. Yeah, it's so peaceful out here. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to spend a good 4 hours, I think. I'm going to sit and have my breakfast. The rods are out. I'm going to prep some fresh baits. I'm going to put Welsh black lug and squid on, because this area of the Solent has picked up the odd unicorn. And I'm just wondering why neither of my rods have already started jangling for anything really. I'm not saying that but I'm just worried that my bait isn't hard on the bottom. I suppose I better check, see if I've got any bigger weights, or I might have to clip 2 weights on, which obviously is far from my. Oh, I have got one big weight. Oh, she's a monster. I might have to put that on. What's that one? She's a beast. Yeah, I don't like putting really big weights on. That cupboard smells a bit fishy. That's because it's got. I know why that is. It's got my weighing sling in there. My weighing sling. Yeah. And as you know, I like to have my clickers on, because like when I'm doing something else, like I'm going to now. Oh, boat's starting to come together now. I'm starting to get more organised. Getting more organised. Getting it how I like it. I'm starting to be able to find things, do things. I just did an anchoring then, just then. Only took me a few minutes. It's not particularly deep here, like I say, I think it's about 60 feet. But yeah. Still don't know if that's... I'm going to give both of those about 15 minutes and I'm going to up the weights on them just in case. I think I just had an inquiry on the left rod. It's about time. It's been really quiet. Oh, there we go. It looks like a ting. I reckon that's a ting bite. What say you? There's a boat coming in. Hope you see me. I'm an anchor, big man. I ain't going nowhere. I've got so much weight on here. It's hard to tell. If it is, it's nothing big. The lead weight's bigger than the fish. Hey, what have we got? It's a ting! Oh, he's a small ting as well. Let's get him back. In fact, let's just put him in a bucket of water for now. Put him in a bucket of water. Sort my bait out. Nice juicy squid. Juicy! We don't just want tings, do we? The tinglings. Move closer inshore. I've taken my hat off now because I'm starting to warm up a little bit. The sun's not quite out yet. Yeah, so move closer inshore. It's been quiet for the last half an hour. Thought it'd be a little bit busier than this. And then I've just been messaging a fishing buddy. They're fishing further offshore than what I were. One of them's had a cod, loads of straps, loads of doggies, and a thornback ray. But yeah, it's a beautiful morning, absolutely gorgeous. And just in my immediate vicinity there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am the 6th fishing boat. There's 6 of us out in this little patch. Central Solent, just at the drop off to the 50 feet drop off. Yeah. Oh, there's a bite. That's the rod I've been waiting for. That's got a squid and black lug on that one, so that's a feast for a tingling if that's all that is. Wonder what we got on that one. I wonder. Whatever it is, it hasn't gone mental for it. Oh, let's see what we got. Oh no, there is a bit of weight there. That was deceiving. Oh, that was deceiving. That was such a gentle bite. That's got to be an eel. Surely, I don't know. It's hanging deep. It's when you pull up a doggy. Devastated. Squid and black lug on this one. I don't know, it's staying down. Maybe it's a small ray. What have we got? Can't see. Yeah, a doggy. A doggy. So a tingaling and a doggy. doggy in the boat. Well, at least that's a sign. At least it's livening up a little bit. Let's get him off. So there's that much weight on this. I didn't even feel this fish. Didn't see the bite. Let's see if I can go down a weight, because that's just too big. Too big! Problem when you're fishing big weights like that is it masks the bite indication. If you don't see it, then the fish is on there for a while. Let's get a T-bar. Unlike this little doggy. It's quite a big doggy actually. Well, no, he's a skinny doggy, isn't he? He's a runt of a doggy. So we can get him. Turn the hook. And back in he goes. And away he swims. So I wish all fish were as tough as eels and doggies. Then more fish would survive and go back well, you know. But hey ho. Prepped another bait, this one, for a little bit of variation and mix things up. This is double sand eel and squid. Oh, looks like my rig's snagged up or stuck in the mud or something. It's not looking good there, is it? Got a little inquiry on this one. I'm going to set the world on fire. We're right on slack water now, so the boat's just doing whatever it wants. There's no wind, which is nice. I'm not complaining. Could be howling, could be unfishable. Seems like he doesn't want to play. You know why that was? Because I poured myself a coffee. And he got jealous. So I'm going to sit and have my coffee. Nothing there. Might have an inquiry on this rod. It's hard to tell because we got slack and we're bouncing all over the place. If it is, it's only small. It's going to be a ting, I think. Or a doggy. My money's on a doggy. That seems to be about the measure of it today. Not even any decent eels. I'm sure if I'd have stayed out deeper, it'd have been a lot better fishing. He's a doggy. Nice coloured doggy actually, this one. Oh, and he spat it. And off he swims. He spat the bait. Problem when you're at slack tide like this, it just drifts the lines together. You go left and you go right, and the lines get closer and closer and closer. It's definitely a doggy fest day today. Even a ting would be welcome. A nice fat ting. Thrown out some cracking baits today as well. That's the frustrating bit. If you have rubbish bait, you'd understand, you know. But when you're chucking out the good stuff, you're feeding the doggies. I don't mind a doggy. Doggies have got their place. Just don't want loads of them like we've had today. I even refuse to put them on camera. I've had that many today. I don't know, 2 dozen now in total, I think. Someone's knocking at the door. If I had a little bell, we'd be ringing the bell. What have we got here then? What have we got? Is there someone here? No. There's no one there. Oh, unless it's something small. I can feel something. It's going to be a doggy or a ting. Unless he's just spat it. Oh yes, a ting! It's a tiny ting! Right, let's get this little critter back in without... If I can do it without touching them... Oh, If I can do it without touching them, I think they've got a better chance of surviving when they're out there, rather than getting handled. Don't bite that. There you go. Yeah, he went back frisky. Frisky. Ready to go. I'm ready to go. Yeah, so the tings are down there. There's just not many of them. Right, what should we do? What should we do? Should we stick with the... We've got the black lug, we've got the squid. We might as well stick with the old switcheroo trying to get the cod, eh? Let's give you a show what I'm doing. So at the moment, 4-0 Kamasan hook on my detachable trace, 1 Welsh black lug, and every time I hook it through, I twist it 90 degrees and go again. And just keep twisting, feeding on hook, twisting, feeding on hook. That's for this bait. So you end up with quite a glob. But these are there purely for the scent and the oils they give out. And then snip off the tail. So that's the glob you end up with. And then all I've been doing now is I'm going to tip that off with a squid head. So I've got a squid head and I put it through both the eye lenses, because the eye lenses seem to be the tough bit, and you end up with a bait like that. I like the look of it, and if there was to happen to be a cod passing, I think he'd like the look of it as well. But I don't think we're in for any such luck today. It looks like it's just expensive food for tings and doggies. Doggy, 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 oi, 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 doggy, oi. It doesn't work with tings. Tingy, tingy, tingy. Right, here we go. It's not a massive bait. It's more like a select morsel. You could say, put bigger baits on, Mark. What's up with you? Don't be so tight. Well, I genuinely don't think there's anything else here. So it's just a bit of sport with what is. We shall see. Right, bait this one up. What should we do with this one? Do something different? Do the same? I think a whole squid. That's a decent sized one out of the bag. I don't like these squid. They're different than what I normally get. Not making excuses, it's just different than what I normally get. I'm not too keen on it, to be honest. Nice fresh bait. And no elastic. Everyone's like that. No elastic. Is he feeling alright? What's going on? Are you alright, Matt? Are you feeling poorly? No elastic. Couple of boats tonking around. I might have a tonk back, you know, because it's really flat calm. I might do a standard manoeuvre and a high speed run. Just to, why not? Eh? Why have all that performance and not use it? Because you don't really need all that performance. You could probably push it, as long as you can get up onto the plane and do 15, 16 knots planing speed. Go on, get out of the way. As long as you can get up on the plane, do planing speed, you don't need that oofing great engine. But it's good fun. It's got a fair old bit of giddy up. She does just over 30 knots. 31, 31 and a half. When it's just me and I've not loaded her up too heavy. And cruising speed's about 17, 18. and that's when it's up on the plane, and then you trim the engine just so she runs nice. I'll have to do some videos on that kind of stuff, how you actually trim your engine underway. You can hear the RPM change. You can hear the RPM change for no throttle change, which means there's less of the hull and friction with the water, which means it's less fuel. Basically, that's what you're getting. Getting better performance, better fuel economy. And these modern 4-stroke lean burn engines, they're amazing. I'd have had to have had a barge behind carrying 2-stroke for the old 2-stroke engines we used to use, because they just absolutely guzzle fuel. This is more like a little sip. Right, come on fishies. Time for a brew. Time for a brew, and I've got chocolate chip cookies. Shh, don't tell Mrs. W, because I'm getting a bit porky. But if she doesn't want to come out in the boat, she can't check to see what I'm eating. I had chips the other night as well. We're pretty much on the slack, but the boat's trying to turn, so I'm guessing we're just on the change. And the lines, are, instead of going left to right, they're now going right to left. But it's not enough to actually swing the boat around. And as soon as there's any kind of tidal flow, just starting to get the odd little bite. All through the slack it was hard to see anything. Now the lines are going right to left, we're starting to see. Just had a better bite on the left rod. I was just baiting up and putting out the right rod. And then this one sort of started jingling, but it went quite aggressively, so I don't know if it's a... yeah, that's a bit different. That feels a bit head shaky, eely. Yeah, look at that. That feels more like an eel. It's got a bit of weight to it though compared to the others. This might be, don't want to call it. Feels a better fish than what we've had so far today, but it definitely feels eely. So whatever it is. Tide's just starting to move. Yeah, it's an eel. It's not a bad one either for here. We'll bring that one in for a look. Oh, no, he's not that big. It just felt big. Because the tide's just starting to run. He's only a littling. He's only a littling. Still pretty fish though. I know people don't like them, but still pretty when you look at the fins and stuff. Let's hope you don't make a right old mess of the boat. Right, T-bar. Come in, bud. No, he's going back in. Oh, I ain't mucking around with that. There. I was going to give you a show, but you can see what I was up against there. He was a lively little spritzer, and he made a right old mess. I wouldn't have normally brought him in. I'd have T-barred him off at the side. But there ain't been much action today, is there? A slippery little eel. He was a lively critter. Gave a good bite. Good indication. Eel slime literally everywhere now. You know, I like to be tidy. If things are starting to liven up, things are starting to move. It's usually when it's home time, doesn't it? So the biggest fish of the day so far has been a strap that we wouldn't even normally bring into the boat. We just T-bar. It's been quiet, isn't it? Bit of a jangle. Just as I'm thinking about packing up, weather's starting to close in. This might be a ting, if it's any ting. Oh, yeah. Or a doggy. Or an eel. That weather's certainly closing in. That's the way that's the direction I've got to head that way as well. What's this one? Ooh, it's a nice size one. Is that good? Let's have a look. He's been bit. Always interesting to see that something of this size, there's something out there trying to eat it. So something has bit this. And just for interest's sake, let's have a look. Show the camera. Yeah. See if we can see it on the camera. You see that bite mark? Something's had a proper go at that, isn't it? It's not replicated on the other side. So that's been the same side. That's like something's just smashed that. It's your lucky day. He swam strong, that was good. Yeah, that weather's really starting to pick up. Look at that. You can see in the distance. That's the direction I've got to go. Let's have this in. Let's have it in. Let's be having you. So I'm back safe and sound, and unfortunately the last few minutes of that film were corrupt. I couldn't recover them during the edit. So I couldn't sign off. And there was a piece of film footage missing. So I've had to do the end piece in the workshop. You can hear the log burner going, it's crackling and popping away. But yeah, that was a freezing cold night. Launched at midnight on my own. That was a success. My new camera for the back of the van works really well, and I'll show that in a future film. Launching on my own, I've got it weighed off now. I can launch and recover even in the dark. Practice makes perfect, so I've got myself a routine, and as long as I don't deviate from that routine, it all goes well. I did the night navigation down the river. Navionics is brilliant, keeps you in the main channel. It even gives you can set alarms that when you deviate from your plotted course, it will tell you that you're starting to deviate. So a big win for Navionics. Out in open water, it was freezing cold, absolutely freezing cold. Thermal suit and all the other stuff, I realised actually I wasn't dressed correctly for it. So during darkness, when you see me fishing, I was fishing through all those doggies and straps. I was getting a bit disheartened if I'm honest. And I try and keep things upbeat, but it was hard work that night. I got cold, and I realised that the cold come up through the floor. So the water the boat sat in the water, and the cold is drawn through the boat and draws up. So I was warm up top, but my feet were cold. So I'm working around that, and then working through. I went closer inshore. You go inshore and you reduce your chances. Depth of water seems to be everything. I know it's not everything, but it makes a significant difference. Depth of water does improve your fishing chances. Yeah, fished through the day, decided what time I needed to cut my losses, and made my way back. I came back a happy boy because I'd proved a few things to myself. One, that I could do the high-speed night navigation. One, I could do the close quarter navigation through the river, which is quite tortuous. It's a tortuous path. Boat works perfectly. Highlighted one shortfall to me actually. Highlighted the one fact that the factory single battery setup isn't enough for fishing at night. Navigation lights, radio, safety devices, sounder, all that kind of stuff definitely needs a second battery, and it needs a designated house battery and an engine battery. So I've been working on that, and I've been working on a project that means anyone else that's got the same factory setup in their Warrior, I'm producing a video with all of the components, lengths and the setup, filming it and then doing the installation, so it could be copied by other people. So anyone else that's got a single battery setup, a video will follow soon that shows how to add a second battery. And what else? Yeah, just goes to show the disparity. I was within 200 meters of a position I fished recently. Totally different outcome. No rays, no bass, no fish of significant size, no large eels. It was all dogfish and small eels. And I think I just hit a hot spot. A hot spot that was a hole that I've now got a cross on my Navionics. Don't fish there again. They were bait thieves. They were just eating my bait, and I dropped down to 1 rod. So I hope that finishes off the film to give you an explanation of why you didn't see a signing off. Hope that gives a little bit more information as to what I was actually up to. As always, tight lines and happy fishing. I hope to see you again sometime soon. From me and my jingle phone. Someone's just gone to my front door. From me, for now, in the workshop, it's goodbye, and I hope to see you sometime soon. Bye for now.